I have a question about the warrior mentality. I recently was dumped on a deployment, and it's difficult now that I'm home stateside. How does a warrior handle this? Is it like any other emotional loss? I'm trying to use this loss and get after it and improve myself mentally and physically. I'm not sure how to properly submit questions to the podcast.
All right, so the Dear John letter, the old classic Dear John letter. And so, agree, sometimes you can keep it at bay when you're deployed, but then when you get home and you get back to the places, the familiar places where you have the specific memories, that's where the pain starts to come in. And that's fine. That hurts. We get that. But in my opinion, I've said this before, the person that you built in your mind, the person that you had a relationship with that you built in your mind, that person doesn't actually exist. They're not real. They're not real. She wasn't who she appeared to be. And she isn't who she appeared to be. She isn't the sweet, understanding, fun person that you cared so much about. That's not her. That's your memory. That's what you built in your head. She is actually the selfish, self-centered person that cares about herself first and doesn't care about you. That's the reality. And that's fine. But a lot of times the pain that we feel isn't based on the reality. It's based on the fantasy. So you're feeling pain of losing something that wasn't real. So let the fantasy go. Remember that she is not the perfect person that you built in your mind, period. She's not. Otherwise, we wouldn't be in this situation right now. And then move on, brother. Get after it. Work out. Train hard. Go to jiu-jitsu, hike, run, play guitar. Just get after it. And those things, not only are going to distract you from the pain, which is good, they're going to improve you as a human being, which is good, and they're going to rebuild your confidence, which is good. They're going to make you feel good. They're going to make you stronger and smarter and better and put you into a place where you don't need that little made-up fantasy anymore. And they're going to put you in a place where you're going to find something better than the fantasy. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, the fantasies don't exist. The perfect girl or guy for you doesn't exist. They don't exist. So you're going to be out looking for someone that's good, but you're not going to find perfect. Don't get obsessed with finding perfect. If you find someone that's perfect, it's not true. Everyone's got their flaws. So that's what you have to do. And you will end up finding someone that's real. And I get it, man. I know you're going to have some moments down in the hole, as Alice in Chains put it. Or trapped in the heart-shaped box, as Nirvana put it.
Sure.
Or so lonesome you could cry, as Hank Williams Sr. put it. You notice a theme here? This is what people go through. But those feelings, they're temporary, so let them say hi. Let them hang around for a minute or for half an hour or an hour or whatever, and then kick them out. Kick those feelings out. Get them out of there and go do something else. Take your mind away from those memories of fantasies and build some good memories that are real. And yeah, you know what? You can use your anger and your frustration to fuel positivity for sure. I spent much of my youth doing that very thing for sure. All those breakups. Yeah, I turned those things into fuel.
Dang.
And the other thing I'm telling you is if you take action with your body, your mind's going to follow. And pretty soon you'll be on to the next chapter and you can move beyond this bad fantasy chapter that you kind of got roped into.
Man, freaking girls, man. They can get you every time if you let them.
It's so hard to. I went through this so many times, because when I was an assistant platoon commander, task unit commander, what I was doing, right? But more in the earlier phases, right? Because once I was, a task unit commander, I was dealing with a lot less. Those problems that would come to me on a relationship level would be something big, divorce, custody of children, some kind of domestic violence scenario, like real things. But when I was younger and I was in a SEAL platoon, that's when you're dealing with guys going through the breakup with the girl and the
messing with my head, man.
Yeah, it's messing with my head, man. Yeah, of course. Every guy goes through that. Me, that's the way it is. You get that weird thing kicking around in there and you start getting crazy. And what's so funny is when you're on the outside of it, it's so like when you're in the heart-shaped box yourself, you just can't see anything else. It's just devastating. Yeah, and everyone that's looking at you is like, bro, let's just go to the bar tonight and you'll meet 17 new girls tonight.
Yeah.
But I like them back. I love that was my girl. That was my special girl. No, it's not. Yeah. I remember I kind of had this is kind of evil, but I had a kind of a standard response to guys when they'd say, hey, I broke up with Jennifer last night. I'd be like, oh, sweet, man, let's roll. I would always, and I even carried that, honestly, this is like not something I don't think I would do anymore, but even when guys would be like, hey, man, me and Jennifer are getting divorced, I'd be like, oh, right on, bro. Congrats. Let's rock and roll. I kind of, and part of it was just to kind of spin it like, guys, man,
it's not the big deal.
It's not the, you don't just wallow in it. Yeah. Right? You're getting divorced. Okay. Here's what you need to do. Here's how you maneuver. But what are you going to do? You going to get dragged down by that into that mire, or are you going to, salvage what you can of your life and let's move on. Let's rock and roll. Yeah. So that's, again, it might be a little harsh. I don't know that I would still have that react. Maybe if I was still in the dreams. And 99. I had one guy that. I probably said that to, we have a high divorce rate in the SEAL teams.
Yeah.
It's like an 85-90% divorce rate. So I've said this to quite a few individuals over the year. I only had one that ever kind of, was like, no, man, you don't get it. And I said, no, actually, I do get it. You don't get it.
Yeah.
And it always is a little rougher when there's kids involved and all that. So that would put another little horrible spin on it. But the bottom line is, that is a good attitude to have. Hey, broke up with my girl, right on. I'm glad I got out of this relationship before it developed into something where I did have hooks in me.
Yep.
Financial hooks, children, all those things. Oh, I made it out scot-free. Oh, I'm getting divorced. Oh, you have any kids? No. Okay, rock and roll.
Yeah.
You got kids? Okay, well, how's it going to go? What are you putting in line? So definitely hard.
Here's a question. Have you ever gotten your heart broken?
Negative.
You haven't, straight up. Even in
Of course I have, bro. School. I was a boy. Boys get their heart broken.
When? Tell me.
Oh,
tell
God. 10, 11,
yeah, that
12.
doesn't count. I'm talking like 21-ish time. Because when you're 10, it's like,
okay, 15, 14, 17, 13. Dang, I mean, bro. I think once I was in the SEAL teams, I kind of had that coping mechanism where you have, because you're in the teams now.
Yeah, it's got to be hard.
Yeah, and the girls are like,
Yeah.
You gotta just kind of, But yeah, the younger days for sure. Every guy goes through that, and that's what's hard. And you know what? I'm saying guys specifically. But the girls are the same way. Both guys and girls go through these horrible breakups. Yeah. When you and this is the other thing that we got to realize as parents. When you're 16 years old, I look at my 15, 16, 17-year-old daughters, right, as they were growing up, and I think, oh, they got a boyfriend. Whatever. This guy is meaningless. Yeah. In their lives, I factually know that these guys are meaningless. Yeah. In terms of the broad spectrum of their life. Yeah. But guess what? When you're 15 years old and you got a boyfriend, that is your whole life. Yeah. And so when something goes sideways, I had to say, I had to remember that myself. When I saw my daughters distraught over something, I'd say, okay, here's what's going on. Yeah. This is her whole life. And I'd try to explain to them. Yeah. This guy, I understand that you like him and that he was good and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But, let's remember you're only 15 and you're going to meet another nice guy and there'll be other opportunities and blah blah blah. But of course, it barely gets through to their heads.
Yeah,
right?
fully. They can't even imagine a nicer guy, a different guy. No,
because he's the best. No.
Yeah.
And so yeah.
Dang, bro.
Yeah, you're on question restriction from now on.
No, bro. I wanted to know. I think we all wanted to know.